It's a short film. It's about loss and loneliness and
From the grandeur of the White House to the bustling sets of Hollywood, the journey of Malia Ann Obama is one that blends privilege, ambition, and a relentless pursuit of independence. And tonight we take you inside her world like never before. Born into the most watched family in America, she has spent nearly her entire life under a global microscope, but in 2025 she stands firmly on her own 2 feet, crafting an identity that is as glamorous as it is hard-earned. And the question on everyone's mind is, what does life look like for the former first daughter now that she's charting her own course? This is not just a story about expensive homes, sleek cars, and red carpet appearances, though those elements sparkle brightly. It is also about calculated career moves, discreet personal relationships, and the occasional public controversy that has only fueled the fascination surrounding her. With an estimated net worth of around $2 million, far from the inflated figures splashed across clickbait headlines, she is proving that her rise is built on more than family legacy. And tonight we will take you through her formative years, her creative triumphs, her enviable real estate portfolio, and the carefully curated personal life she guards so fiercely, with each chapter revealing a new layer of a woman determined to define herself on her own terms. Stay with us as we unpack the lavish estates that stretch from Martha's Vineyard to Washington, D.C., the high-performance vehicles that speak to her taste for both elegance and adrenaline, and the controversies that, far from derailing her momentum, have become quiet tests of character, hinting at a resilience shaped by years in the public eye. Because when it comes to Malia Obama, the story is far more complex, far more intriguing, and far more human than the headlines would have you believe. Born on July 4, 1998 in Chicago, Illinois, a date steeped in national pride and symbolic of the independence she would later embody, Malia Obama entered the world already destined for a life unlike most, growing up in the culturally rich Hyde Park neighborhood under the guidance of 2 parents whose own careers were already on impressive trajectories: Barack Obama, then a law professor and state senator, and Michelle Obama, a university administrator with an unshakable commitment to education. The Obama household was one of love, discipline, and intellectual curiosity, a place where books and ideas were as much a part of daily life as family dinners. But everything changed dramatically in 2008, when Barack was elected the 44th President of the United States, and 10-year-old Malia, along with her younger sister Sasha, was thrust into the global spotlight. For the next 8 years, the White House would be both home and stage, complete with the ever-present Secret Service, public scrutiny at every turn, and the unique challenge of navigating adolescence under the unblinking gaze of the media. The privileges were undeniable, yet so were the pressures, every misstep magnified, every private moment potentially public, as seen in 2016, when a lost iPhone at Lollapalooza ignited a media frenzy. Despite these intrusions, Malia handled herself with poise well beyond her years, a steadiness reinforced by her close-knit family and the presence of her grandmother Marion Robinson, affectionately known as the First Granny, whose warmth and wisdom anchored the sisters amidst the whirlwind. Barack's public letters to his daughters in Parade magazine, filled with hopes for their compassion and limitless ambition, served as both guidance and a reminder that their worth was never tied to the family name alone. Through it all, Malia learned to balance fame with normalcy, to carry the weight of public expectation without letting it define her. And it is this foundation, equal parts privilege and challenge, that would shape the confident, determined woman stepping into her own spotlight today. For Malia Obama, the transition from first daughter to emerging Hollywood creative wasn't a leap, but a series of deliberate, carefully chosen steps that revealed both ambition and a willingness to learn the craft from the ground up. Her earliest taste of the entertainment world came in 2014, when she worked as a production assistant on CBS's science fiction series Extant, starring Halle Berry, a role that, while modest, placed her in the thick of a professional set and sparked a deeper fascination with storytelling. Determined to expand her industry experience, she went on to secure internships that would expose her to very different sides of filmmaking, including a stint on HBO's critically acclaimed series Girls in 2015, where she observed the intricacies of script development and production, followed in 2017 by time at the Weinstein Company, an experience overshadowed by the company's implosion amid the Harvey Weinstein scandal. Still, those formative roles gave her a rare vantage point into both the artistry and politics of the entertainment business. After graduating from Washington, D.C.'s elite Sidwell Friends School in 2016, Malia took a gap year that would broaden her worldview far beyond Hollywood's borders, traveling to Peru and Bolivia, living with a local family, and trekking through the Cordillera Real mountain range, an immersion in cultures and landscapes that would later influence her creative sensibilities. In 2017, she entered Harvard University to study visual and environmental studies, using her time there not only to hone her technical skills, but to forge connections with peers and mentors who would become allies in her post-graduation career. This steady accumulation of experiences laid the groundwork for her first major break, proving that rather than cash in on her family name, she was willing to start at the bottom, absorb every lesson, and quietly position herself for the moment she could step forward as a creative force in her own right. Malia Obama's emergence as a bona fide creative voice came to fruition in 2021, shortly after graduating from Harvard, when she joined the writer's room for Donald Glover's Amazon Prime video series Swarm, a bold, darkly satirical take on celebrity obsession. Working alongside seasoned industry veterans, she quickly impressed co-creator Janine Nabbers, who praised her as an incredible writer, with pitches that were, in her words, wild as hell, and it was Malia's episode that would go on to be hailed by critics as one of the season's most daring and unpredictable, cementing her reputation as a talent to watch. This momentum led to her directorial debut in 2023 with The Heart, a short film produced by Glover's company that explored themes of grief and family dynamics through an intimate, authentic lens, distancing her further from the Obama Daughter label and establishing her professional identity under the name Malia Ann. The film premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival before making waves at Sundance in 2024, where it won the Best Live-Action Short Award, a feat that validated her storytelling instincts on the global stage. In 2024, she expanded her portfolio with a high-profile Nike commercial for basketball star Aja Wilson's shoe line, a sleek and visually striking project that drew attention for more than just its aesthetics. Controversy flared when filmmaker Natalie Jasmine Harris pointed out similarities to her own work, Grace, sparking an online debate over originality. Malia chose not to publicly respond, instead letting her growing body of work speak for itself, a move praised by some as mature and strategically restrained. Through these achievements, she has built a career that is notable not only for its rapid rise but for the fact that each project feels distinctly her own, blending technical precision with emotional depth, and showing that her creative ambitions stretch far beyond the shadow of her famous last name. When it comes to where Malia Obama lays her head, the choices reflect a lifestyle that is both aspirational and highly curated, each property offering a glimpse into her taste for spaces that blend elegance, privacy, and a sense of place. First is the jewel of her portfolio, the $25 million Coastal Majesty estate on the pristine shores of Martha's Vineyard, a sprawling 29-acre oceanfront haven anchored by a 9,000-square-foot mansion with 7 bedrooms, 8.5 bathrooms, panoramic floor-to-ceiling windows framing the Atlantic, and amenities ranging from a home theater to a climate-controlled wine cellar and a private boathouse, perfect for secluded summer escapes. Next is the $18 million countryside haven in upstate New York, 50 acres of rolling meadows and wooded trails surrounding an 8,000-square-foot manor that marries rustic charm with modern indulgence, offering a double-height foyer, gourmet chef's kitchen, private study, and even a guest cottage for extended stays, making it an ideal retreat from the intensity of urban life. And finally, the $9.7 million urban oasis mansion in Washington, D.C.'s prestigious Kalorama neighborhood, a historic 1,100-square-foot property with 9 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, and manicured outdoor spaces, all within minutes of embassies, museums, and the political heartbeat of the capital. Each of these homes tells a part of her story. Martha's Vineyard speaks to her family's deep-rooted ties to the island, the upstate estate reflects a love for nature and solitude, and the Kalorama mansion offers proximity to the corridors of power she once called home, while maintaining the privacy she values. Taken together, this real estate trio forms a tangible statement about the balance she's striking between accessibility and escape, tradition and reinvention, cementing her as a figure who can navigate both worlds with ease. While her homes may anchor her lifestyle in brick and stone, Malia Obama's choice of cars reveals another facet of her personality, one that blends refined taste with a subtle appetite for performance and freedom. At the pinnacle sits the Rolls-Royce Dawn, a $400,000 convertible Grand Tourer whose presence alone turns heads, its Spirit of Ecstasy hood ornament gleaming as it glides silently down coastal roads, wrapping its passengers in hand-stitched leather and polished wood, while delivering a ride so smooth it feels like floating on air, a statement piece that speaks to timeless luxury. Next is the Maserati Gran Turismo, an Italian-crafted coupe worth around $200,000 that balances athletic prowess with elegant lines, its throaty engine note signaling both power and confidence as it darts through city streets or cruises along winding highways, embodying the kind of understated boldness that mirrors Malia's own approach to her public life. Rounding out the trio is the Audi R8 V10, a $170 road-thousand supercar that is as much about the visceral thrill of acceleration as it is about sleek razor-edge design, with a cockpit that feels lifted from a fighter jet and performance specs that make it track-ready while still civilized enough for a late-night drive through Los Angeles. These aren't just cars, they are moving expressions of identity, each chosen not to flaunt but to fit a specific mood or occasion. The Rolls for arriving in effortless style, the Maserati for days when she wants a dash of performance elegance, and the R8 for moments that demand pure adrenaline. Together, they form a garage that reflects not extravagance for its own sake, but a deliberate curation of engineering excellence and aesthetic beauty, much like the way she's crafting her career. Behind the headlines and the luxury, Malia Obama's personal life remains a carefully balanced blend of family loyalty, guarded privacy, and a quiet but consistent commitment to authenticity, with her closest relationships still rooted in the tight circle formed during her White House years. She shares an especially strong bond with her parents, Barack and Michelle Obama, who not only shaped her values through example, but continue to serve as sounding boards and sources of strength. A closeness often displayed in rare but telling public moments, such as Michelle's heartfelt Instagram tribute for Malia's 27th birthday in 2025, where she praised her daughter's intelligence, strength, and beauty, alongside a candid family photo watching 4th of July fireworks, a post Barack echoed by calling Malia a light in their world. Equally central is her relationship with younger sister Sasha, her confidant and roommate in Los Angeles, where the two are often spotted enjoying nights out, attending premieres, and supporting each other's creative and personal ventures, a dynamic that reflects both shared history and mutual independence. Romantically, Malia has kept a low profile, with past relationships including Harvard classmate Rory Farquhar from 2017 to 2021 and music producer Dawood Eklund between 2022 and 2024. But as of now, she appears focused on personal growth and professional advancement rather than public declarations of love. Her decision to work under the professional name Malia Ann is more than branding. It's a deliberate statement that she wants every opportunity she earns to be based on her own merits, a sentiment Michelle confirmed on the Sibling Revelry podcast in 2025 when she said Malia wants to feel like she's earned what she gets. These values, self-reliance, loyalty, and discretion, are the through lines in a life where the balance between public fascination and personal space is constantly tested, yet she continues to navigate it with a grace that suggests the lessons of her upbringing are deeply ingrained. Beyond the red carpets and luxury estates, Malia Obama's public identity is also shaped by a willingness to stand for causes that matter to her, often with a focus on social justice, environmental responsibility, and global education. Though she approaches activism with the same measured discretion that defines much of her life, in 2020, she was seen marching alongside her sister Sasha in Black Lives Matter protests, joining thousands in calling for systemic reform, an act that underscored her commitment to racial equality not just as a political stance, but as a deeply personal matter. Years earlier, in 2017, she made headlines at Sundance for protesting the Dakota Access Pipeline, showing her environmental advocacy extended beyond classroom discussions into real-world action. Her activism has also had a global reach, most notably in 2016 when she traveled to Liberia with her mother to promote the Let Girls Learn initiative, advocating for girls' education in developing countries and meeting with young women whose determination mirrored her own emerging sense of purpose. Her connection to the Obama Foundation further reflects this commitment, as she actively supports its youth leadership programs, helping to inspire and equip the next generation of changemakers. Unlike some celebrities who amplify every cause via social media, Malia's activism is often seen more in her presence than her posts, a choice that keeps the focus on the work rather than the optics, though it also leaves room for public curiosity about where her next stand might be. It is this combination of selective visibility and unwavering conviction that gives her advocacy a certain weight. When she does appear, it feels intentional, and when she speaks, it carries the credibility of someone who has lived her entire life in the shadow of politics but chooses to engage on her own terms, free from the expectation that her family name alone dictates her path. While Malia Obama's public image is largely defined by her poise and professionalism, her life has not been without moments that fuel speculation, debate, and the inevitable swirl of online opinion, and each has tested her ability to maintain composure under scrutiny. One of the most recent and talked about incidents came in 2024, with the release of her Nike commercial for Aja Wilson's shoe line, a high-profile project praised for its visual polish, but soon caught in a wave of controversy when filmmaker Natalie Jasmine Harris alleged striking similarities to her short film Grace, prompting discussions in creative circles about originality and influence. True to form, Malia chose not to issue a public statement, allowing the discourse to unfold without her participation, a decision many interpreted as a calculated move to let her growing body of work, rather than reactive comments, define her professional reputation. Earlier in her life, smaller moments also became tabloid fodder, such as the 2016 Lollapalooza iPhone incident, when a misplaced phone at a Chicago music festival generated a media frenzy far beyond the actual event, and photos from college parties or casual outings that were dissected as if they carried political implications. Yet in each case, Malia's response or lack thereof reinforced a pattern. She does not rush to correct narratives, preferring instead to live her life and allow time to shift the spotlight elsewhere. This approach, while occasionally criticized as aloof, has earned her a degree of respect from those who see it as emotional maturity and media savvy, especially in an era when many public figures are quick to engage in public battles. By sidestepping drama and focusing on her career, she has effectively shaped a media perception that, while not immune to controversy, frames her as a figure who navigates challenges with quiet resilience and a long-term view, refusing to be defined by fleeting headlines. As the chapter of Malia Obama's life in 2025 continues to unfold, what emerges is the portrait of a woman who has moved decisively beyond the confines of being the former first daughter and into the space of a self-made creative force, balancing the polish of privilege with the grit of personal ambition. Her trajectory from the White House lawn to the sets of award-winning projects is marked not by shortcuts, but by calculated steps, learning curves, and an unwavering insistence on defining success in her own terms, whether that's through crafting narratives that resonate on screen, curating a lifestyle that reflects both comfort and intentionality, or choosing when and how to lend her voice to causes she believes in. The combination of her real estate empire stretching from Martha's Vineyard's coastal elegance to the urban prestige of Kalorama, her high-performance yet tastefully selected car collection, and her expanding creative portfolio places her in a rare category of young Hollywood figures who command attention without constantly chasing it. Looking ahead, industry insiders speculate that her next moves could include feature-length directorial projects, strategic collaborations with streaming giants, or even a pivot into producing, leveraging her growing network to champion diverse and innovative storytelling. There's also a lingering curiosity about whether she will step further into the public arena as an advocate, blending her activism with her artistic platform in ways that could have lasting impact. Yet perhaps what makes her future most intriguing is the deliberate pace at which she moves, signaling that she is playing a long game rather than seeking quick wins, a strategy that has already set her apart in a culture obsessed with instant gratification for audiences and observers alike. The question is no longer whether Malia can thrive outside her parents' shadow, it's how far she'll go in building a legacy entirely her own, one that years from now may stand shoulder to shoulder with the influence of the name she was born into, yet unmistakably stamped with her own vision, voice, and values.